Ben and Stacey Dixon joining us, Full Moon Inc. So you got the Tattoo and Horror Festival going on this weekend, and I'm looking at all the people that are going to be there, and I'm super pumped and excited. Kane Hodder going to be there?
Yes.
Oh, no way! So if you guys don't know, that's basically he is Jason for the most part. Pretty pumped about that. So let's talk about this. What's going on there? All right, Stacey.
Yeah. Hey, Stacey.
Hey. Well, we have live tattooing with artists from all over the country. There's probably about, what do you say, like 90 or so. Yeah. And then we have celebrity guests, and we have vendors with really cool stuff. Like if you want some kind of cool, like Elvira purse or some sort of T-shirt that you can't find at, Spencer Hot Topic. And, we have a lot of contests, tattoo contests, and where we're showing movies at the movie theater that we own at Full Moon Cineplex in Hermitage.
So let's talk about the movies. What movies do we get to see?
This weekend we've got Shocker.
Mitch Pileggi, right?
Mitch Pileggi, yes. He's going to be doing a little Q&A after the film. That's at 5 o'clock on Friday. 7 o'clock, we've got Scream, the original Scream, with Lee Waddell. He was the guy that played Ghostface.
Yeah, his voice. Yeah.
No, the
original. Yeah, the original. So he is
the stunt guy.
The stunt guy. So you got him showing up, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And for those, Mitch Pileggi, like that, maybe that name sounds familiar. He was probably more famous for being in the X-Files and things like that. But X-Files. He was Shocker. Shocker was such a awesome movie.
Oh, yeah. It scared me to death when I was a kid. Because right after I watched it, I was probably about between 8 and 10. And our electricity completely went out in our house, and I was freaked out. So.
By the way, solid parenting by your parents letting you watch that movie at 8 or 10. That's a good parenting thing. So now let's talk about, you go there, you get to meet all these people, and you've got a ton of people showing up here, which I love. And some people you're thinking, you got Henry Thomas showing up.
Henry Thomas.
He's done some stuff.
Oh, yeah. From an early age there, E.T.,
that's got to be the big, the getting him to come because of E.T. He's done stuff that, some of the other horror stuff he's done now on Netflix and things like that. But obviously E.T. as a kid, that's a huge thing.
Yeah. He was actually supposed to come last year, but he got tied up. He was working on a film over in Europe and it ran over, so he was not able to attend. So we got him to rebook for this year.
Who are you excited about seeing?
Who
haven't you met that you're pumped about?
Well, Henry is cool. We've never met him before. David Howard Thornton. Art the Clown is coming. That is pretty hot right now. That whole Terrifier thing.
Yeah, that Terrifier thing is huge. Even my kids who are they're young teenagers. They're they know who Art the Clown is.
Yeah. But a good friend that's been to the show before, William Forsythe. What a career that guy has had, and he's just a really down to earth guy.
I think my first question would be didn't Steven Seagal kill you in a movie?
I'm sure.
How'd you allow that to happen? So when you put something together like this, you got the Tattoo and Horror Festival. It's going on April 18th through the 20th. You do this. How long does it take you to put together and get all these people to get themselves out here? Because I'm sure you're scheduling a year or two plus in advance.
Yeah, we go ahead and book the hotel a year in advance, but the real big planning usually starts about 6 months out, because we run the haunted house as well, Slaughterhouse. So that's another huge event that we have to really kind of focus on. So right after haunt season, we'll take a couple of weeks, and then we're bouncing on to the festival.
Yeah,
nice. That's cool.
And it balances out good to kind of do the festival in the springtime. It always falls on Easter. And then we do, of course, the haunted house, Slaughterhouse in the fall.
Well, nothing says Resurrection of Christ like a horror festival of tattoos.
Welcome to Nashville.
And I'm a believer, and I'm inked up. I'm pumped about this. How did you guys get into obviously tattooing and stuff? But how did you get into the horror side? Because this is a big deal combining the two.
Yeah. Well, Stacey and I, we've been together almost 20 years and married almost 18, and we actually met working on a movie together that I was directing, and needed a makeup artist, and was given Stacey's number. And when we met, I just fell head over heels and was like, you got the job, but do you want to go?
Do you want to date the director?
Would you like to
see
go
the way
out?
that works there in show business, Stacey? See the way that works?
And she was like, well,
I don't know.
it wasn't.
So people come out this weekend. They get to go out. Not only going to meet these people, if they want to get inked, they can do that.
Sure. Yeah. The health department comes out Friday morning. All of it's licensed through the state health department.
Which is good.
Yes, absolutely.
Are you doing some inking, or?
It's just so much to go on. I stopped doing them at the show just because there's just so much that we have to do just to run it.
You're running around just like crazy.
Yeah.
And what about you? What's your big thing for the show? What are you going to be doing?
Just a lot of organizing and just kind of making sure everything's running smoothly, checking on the people up front, the registers, the T-shirts, and just kind of keeping everybody on track and making sure there's no mishaps or anything,
Yeah.
So when you're done with that tattoo, you run over to the theater to get that ready, right? How's all this work? Because you've got all these things going on.
Yeah, all these outlets. Yeah, so we've got a good team that helps us out at the movie theater. So, and then we've got a driver that kind of takes the stars over to the movie theater to do the intro or the Q&A after the film, and then they run them back. So, but Friday night, we're playing Terrifier 2. So there's about 6 members of the cast from Terrifier that is coming.
Oh, nice.
And so we're playing Terrifier 2 at 9:30. So we're going to have to probably run over there ourselves and kind of help out with that as well.
I can't wait. I mean, I'm a big fan of horror movies and tattoos because that's just a win for everybody. But that's who I am. I look around this and I'm thinking to myself, so many of these people are just, like as a kid growing up watching Jason, right? Like, oh my God, or Scream or Annabelle Gish. I always had a crush on Annabelle Gish. She's going to be there. She was in, of course, a lot of different things, but it's like, so awesome to have these people that come to these things and they soak it up. They do. It's one of those things where they probably thought, like Kane Hodder probably thought 40 years ago, I'm going to do this thing where I put this hockey mask on. I'm going to do this thing. I'm never going to do anything about this again. Now it's like, this is, you're typecast, but they love it.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And, just kind of like the introduction too with horror, I think with Stacey, when she and I met, she went to Tom Savini, his makeup effects school in Pittsburgh, and that's where she learned special effects makeup and everything. And
we're all the great, by the way, makeup artists come out of Pittsburgh. You're like, there's no place. They don't go to Hollywood. They go to Pittsburgh. Also where Andy Warhol is from. So Tom Savini he's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Did you want to be like a special effects kind of makeup artist or?
Yeah. I've always loved the horror genre. Even like 4 or 5 years old, my father and I would always go to the movie store and rent like movies and stuff, and it'd always be horror films. That's just what I loved. So I just kind of knew that by, my early 20s, that's what I wanted to do for sure. I wanted to be a special effects makeup artist. I was going to move to California, and I had my car hooked up to a U-Haul and got to Flagstaff, Arizona, and I was going to school out there, and I just had this gut feeling. I was like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. So I decided to turn back around and go to Nashville. And on the way back, I picked up a Fangoria, which, you don't really see those in print very much anymore. But Tom Savini had just opened up his school. So 2 weeks later, I was in Pittsburgh.
Was he teaching the classes?
Yeah, he would come in, maybe once a week or something and kind of help assist. But he had all his teachers and...
That is so cool. That's so cool. And then how about you? You're a tattoo artist. How'd you get into that?
Yeah, I got into tattooing.
Who was the nut job that said, dude, we're pals. You can bend it.
Right.
Practice on me.
I was playing in a band, out of high school and stuff, playing drums, and got my first tattoo down in Memphis, hanging out with some buddies, and so I was like 17 then, and they didn't even have any state laws or anything of in Tennessee for tattooing, and then all of a sudden I decided, hey, I'm going to stop the band life and start tattooing, and got an apprenticeship, and that was back in 91. Oh, a long time ago.
Look at that. Now you're tattooing everywhere. Yes,
that's how Ben and I met, was through a local band called Every Mother's Nightmare. And he wasn't, we were mutual friends in that band. And then Ben has done probably 90% of the tattoos I have.
90% of the tattoos. Have you ever seen Belle's legs? We were talking about this earlier. Belle came up and said doesn't wear shorts. right? Doesn't wear shorts at all. Thinks shorts are stupid. Thinks people who wear shorts are
I
stupid.
said none of that.
He said all of those things. And Ken and I wear shorts, and that's who we are. That's what we're about. But he says you've done 90% of his tattoos.
Yeah, I guess I have. I've put a lot of paint on old Bill.
That's cool. How has tattoo changed over the years? Because, it used to be this thing where it was a different world, right? Like, it's the end, you'd look at stuff and you'd see people who had, the sailor, they had hard kind of like looking stuff and all that kind of thing. And now you look at it and it's like, even these athletes go in and they're spending 30, 40 grand on a piece for their back. And they want it done in one day and they're bringing anesthesiologists to do it.
Yeah. I don't know about all that. I mean, that's just kind of pushing it to another limit, I think, and I think there's going to be some, repercussions from that, I believe, with the anesthesia tattooing. I think you should earn it. I really do. I think you should get your tattoo and earn it. And that's the way it was meant to be, reason they're doing those things is so they can, have 3-4 people working on a back piece and get it all done in one day and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, it has changed. I mean, dramatically from when I started, like 34 years ago. I mean, there were 2 tattoo shops in Nashville when I first started. And now there's probably over 80, I mean, it just really, really took off. The artwork and stuff is just phenomenal at this point now. It's just unbelievable what people are being able to do.
Yeah, I like it.
Hey, have him tell you the story about tattooing Keith Urban.
You tattooed Keith Urban, who, by the way, has the building next door, so you see him wandering around here all the time. We're like, Keith, get out. Come on.
Yeah.
You tattooed Keith, huh?
Yeah, several times. It was back, many years ago when I first started tattooing him. I did the famous Thunderbird on his forearm and tattooed his right arm with, putting Nicole on the little banner and everything.
Oh, did you tell him, hey, dude, I'm going to put Nicole here? But usually when you start putting somebody's name, are you going to cross it out? Are you going to have something? Is this one sticking or is it not sticking?
They've been wonderful. They have definitely stuck together for sure.
Did you tattoo her? Does she get any?
No. We've met her. They when our little boy Phoenix was born, they sent flowers to the hospital, and Nicole held Phoenix when he was a little boy, and she was pregnant with their first one, and so Keith's an amazing artist, and it was cool to be able to do a lot of his work and stuff.
That's awesome. Yeah. So this weekend, people want to get tickets. People want to come out. Where do they go? How do they get tickets? And because it's a couple days, is everybody there each day, or you have like it split up? How's that work?
Yeah, all 3 days. All the people will be there except Dick Warlock. He's the guy from Michael Myers from Halloween 2. He's not going to be there on Sunday, but you want to tell him about the website?
Yeah, it's if you buy tickets now, they're a little cheaper, and if you buy them at the door, they do go up a little bit. Fullmooninc.net, right? You can buy them at fullmooninc.net. You can buy a single day, you can buy a 2-day, or you can buy the whole weekend.
The whole weekend. Now, does that include going to see movies? How's that work? Is there packages?
Yeah, that package sold out. Yeah, we call it the Golden Skull, and that always sells out. That includes all the movies and all the other stuff. But you can buy movie tickets for the movies at fullmooncineplex.com, and just for single tickets over there.
Right on. Appreciate you guys coming in. Ben and Stacey Dixon. They've got their big thing going on. 22nd annual Full Moon Tattoo and Horror Festival going on this weekend. That's the 18th through the 20th. You can get tickets now. Go check it out. We'll put it up on the old Facebook and everywhere else. Appreciate you guys coming in today.
Hey, thank you.
Thank you.
This is the Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7.